We are on, we are live, and very, very, very glad to be here with everyone. Want to just thank everybody for, taking the time out to join us on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, evening. It's a lot going on in the world today, and we just wanted to open up, showing some gratitude, some appreciation to everyone. Wanted to actually do a quick moment of silence for Brother George Floyd, but for also all the others that have lost their lives due to senseless state-sanctioned violence, community violence, whatever type of violence it was. And so, just off impromptu, wanted to have a quick moment of silence in honor of all that he has done through his untimely death, and his slaying. He sparked a movement that called millions of folks to action, and we are still seeing wins and victories take place in many of our communities due to what happened to that tragedy. And so it was his daughter that said, "My daddy changed the world," and he sure did. And so let's just honor that for a minute, y'all. All right, y'all. We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back for the sake of time. Peace, peace, family. And so today we have our second Sunsets live event, Facebook live event, and just very glad to be here with everyone. There's been a lot of momentum in the campaign, and we've had some recent updates that our very own infamous Anthony DiMartino will be communicating to the masses, to the people. As you all know, Sunsets is a true game changer for millions of Californians. And so we are still moving full steam ahead, and you'll get to hear from some of the amazing time done delegates and just community leaders that have been doing the work, such as our very own delegate leader, Wendy Skaggs, our brother, Terrance Stewart, who's been in the time done movement for many, many years. Many suns and moons, and myself, Gilbert Johnson, and so glad to be here. I'm the California Time Done manager, and we have a lot of work to do, and I know that we'll do it and get Sunsets across the finish line. So just grounding us in the space. Welcome, and we'll hop right in. Anthony, our very own amazing government affairs official, you want to take it away, brother?
Hey, thanks, Gilbert. Really, honored to be here. Appreciate, Gilbert, you opening us with the moment of silence, and also want to acknowledge the tragedy that happened today in San Jose. Too many people losing their lives to gun violence for just senseless reasons, right, y'all? And we know people are hurting, people are really struggling, and I'm hoping I can provide some hope, with my update right now. And I know we're here to talk about SB 731, but I also want to acknowledge really quick, if I can, that CSJ also had two other bills today pass off the Senate floor, related to impacted folks. And so I really just quick want to run through those. We had SB 81 by Senator Skinner pass off the Senate floor with, I believe, 27 out of the 40 votes, which is huge. This bill is going to lead to a bunch of enhancements getting dismissed in a positive way, right, for folks, so that we're not looking at these crazy long sentences. And then bail reform by Senator Hertzberg and Senator Skinner, really looking at $0 bail for folks and finding ways to make sure people are able to get their money refunded in bail in certain circumstances. So this bill passed off the Senate floor with 30 votes. So both of those bills are huge bills. They're also game changers. Flying a little under the radar, which isn't a bad thing. But both of those bills are going to the assembly now. And so they are that much closer to becoming law next year. So really just want to acknowledge and uplift that. But, the reason that we're all here is to talk about Sunsets, to talk about record clearance. I want to acknowledge, we have two bills related to this. We have AB 1308, which is on the assembly side. It's on the assembly floor. It'll be voted on sometime this week or next week. This bill's related to misdemeanor records and some retroactivity. So we're looking good on that bill, feeling good about it. But what you all are here for is to really hear about the continued work, expansion on that work, SB 731. We got out of the one of the hardest, if not the hardest, committees in the legislature last Thursday, Senate Appropriations. And this is shout out to all of you for all your support, making sure your organizations or individuals got letters in. They heard us loud and clear, and we got to continue to make sure that folks hear us loud and clear as we move to the Senate floor. So, SB 731's got some really strong momentum. It came out of the committee with some amendments, but it doesn't mean that we ain't going to come back and get that next year. And the bill, has still really got some amazing expansion work. It related to relief in the expungement space for folks that, just quite frankly can't get it right now at all. So, the work that this bill is doing with this and AB 1308, it's groundbreaking. It's leading the nation. And we can't do it without y'all. And so I want y'all to say, to know this, that like, I do this work because I know how much this hurts. I know how much these records, affect individuals. And I got to make sure that the folks in the Capitol know it too. Right. And I'm just like honored and proud to be, one of the spokespeople in the Capitol, helping share these stories, share your stories, but also do whatever I can to make sure that you all are the ones in the room telling the stories when we can, right? And so I really, really just want to thank you all. And as we look to see the state open up, we're going to find, as many ways as possible to make sure you all have a presence in the Capitol, when it's safe to do so physically, right? And so I think, we got some amazing ways that we're going to be looking at doing that over the next several months, as the state opens up and the Capitol starts to open up, to physical presence. So I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited for us. And so we got to get the bill now out of the Senate by June 4th. We are close with the votes. So, we're vote counting right now. We're lobbying. And the bill will be brought up sometime in the next week and a half. And once it gets out of the Senate, we go over to the Assembly, we do it again, and then we take it to the governor signs it, and then it's law by next year. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to continue working and pushing with y'all. Gilbert, Terrance, you all know how to get a hold of me, and everyone, that goes for y'all too. If you need my email, we can definitely share that. And I'm always down to talk, always down to share what's going on and be helpful. So with that, I know I'm going to pass it to Gilbert right now. I think we're queuing up a video. Just want to acknowledge that, we need all of you. And then we also need the champions in the legislature, right? We need the governor. And our champions in the legislature have been tremendous. Senator DeRozzo leading the charge along with Senator Skinner and Senator Bradford. And some amazing other authors. But Senator DeRozzo, what you're going to see coming up right now is a video that she filmed for us. We sent these giant parchments, right? What we're calling the scrolls, to all the senators. There's Senator DeRozzo right there. It looks like she's going to be getting started. So just really quick, just want to say she's going to be explaining what these big parchments are and how really they represent all of the barriers that a criminal conviction record poses to an individual. It's heartbreaking, but it's also, this is a powerful visual that we sent to all 40 of the senators so that they know that when they're voting on this bill, they're helping, millions of Californians address these barriers. So I've said enough. I'll pass it back to you, Gilbert, and I think we got the video ready to go. And thank you so much for the time and energy, and just, appreciate you all.
Thank you, AD. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. Appreciate you laying that context. We fall down, but we get back up. The system has a way of trying to prevent and halt our progress. And we know that when we organize and when we mobilize and when we show up, that we still get what we want and what we deserve and what we have deserved for many, many, many moons, many decades. And so, Julie, did we get the video going of our champion DeRozzo? And big shout out to Senator DeRozzo, for really, really keeping her chin up and her chest out regarding sunsets. Yes, there we go. All right.
Hello, I'm State Senator Maria Elena Durazo. and the author of Senate Bill 731. And these are the thousands and thousands of restrictions that someone with a conviction or arrest on their record face every single day, whether it's housing, whether it's employment, whether it's education or providing for your family. Nobody should be forced to live the rest of their life facing these barriers and exclusions because of a past record. It is time that California sunset convictions and give everyone at least the chance to build a better life for themselves, for their families, without all of these barriers holding them back. We can do that by passing Senate Bill 731.
Yes, yes. So let's give a quick hand to Durazo. You know, when she found out about the amendments, she wasn't happy, and she assured us that she is committed to this work for years to come, for the long haul. You know, and we all have to be in this for the long haul, because this is not a moment. This is a movement we are building, and the movement takes a long-term, sustainable commitment to freedom, liberation, justice, equity, the whole nine, all the work we have to do to dismantle these systems. And so I wanted to also just kind of present this amazing kind of one of its kind program that we've built out with Californians for Safety and Justice and Time Done, which is our inaugural Time Done Delegate program. And so shout out to everybody in the chat that's a delegate, that's holding it down, that's been showing up on the trainings, showing up on the Twitter storms, emailing and making calls to our supporters, to the senators, to the assembly members, you know, telling your friends, sharing videos. I mean, just since we've launched May 8th, we launched the delegate program. We launched Sunsets in March 3rd. But since we've launched the Time Done Delegate program, folks have been very active, showing up. We got the Signal chat going. It's going up daily. And just so proud to be in this work with you all. Truly am, because, you know, Terrance and I met with all of you, you know, and we heard stories, we shared tears, and it just fueled and infuriated me to go even harder, because I know we're doing freedom work, we're doing liberation work. And I know that though we're not going to get everything we were shooting for, you know, we were shooting for the stars with that first version of Sunsets that was amended last week. We know that we coming back, that we're not going anywhere, and that we're coming back strong next year, and that will still positively impact millions of folks by getting Sunsets passed this September. And so just to give a little bit of context around the delegate program before we hopped into Wendy Skaggs' phenomenal story of leadership, resilience, power, you know, grassroots, just stepping up, showing out. The Time Done Delegate program is a team or cohort, or better, I like to say a family of 50 system impacted folks from across the entire state of California. So, I mean, we have folks up north as far where it's nothing but trees, all the way down to the bottom near Tijuana, you know, and it's a beautiful thing, because we broke California down into 5 regions. And so what we have is Northern California, the Bay Area, Central Valley East, Central Valley West, and Southern California. And so we've identified 10 folks from each of those areas to really step up and lead the Sunsets work that will benefit many of them, but thinking in the larger perspective, millions of other folks, you know, millions of families, millions of children, millions of people will be impacted by removing the collateral consequences and barriers and burdens that come with having old felonies and misdemeanors. And so, you know, there's trainings involved, there's stipend involved, there's certificates and free financial wellness classes and credit classes and meetings with influencers. And it's a whole bunch, you know, of free amenities in this program that we're providing to our folks. But the end goal is getting Sunsets passed. And so just wanted to open up with a little bit about the Time Done Delegate program, because it's been a long time coming and it's a lot of work that was put into this amazing, like, phenomenal team, y'all. Like, if you could, y'all gonna get to meet these folks eventually. Wendy's one of them, and our brother Chris couldn't be with us here today, but he was also going to speak up. But you'll be hearing from more of them soon. The Time Done Delegate program, again, one of its kind, and we're taking what we're doing here in California and already laying the framework to move it across the state to others. Across the United States to other states that have been heavily impacted by mass incarceration. And so if you have any questions about the delegate program, definitely reach out. But I don't want to hold us up anymore from our amazing Time Done Delegate leader, Wendy Skaggs. Wendy, welcome to, I don't know if this is your first Facebook Live, but welcome to Facebook Live. Welcome to the Facebook world, Time Done world. And so if you wanted to just open up, and tell us about yourself a little bit, where you're from, who is Wendy Skaggs, and maybe just like what's your personal connection to the system of mass incarceration.
Sure. So, hello, I'm Wendy Skaggs. And before I start about who I am today, what I'd like to say is nobody ever asked me what happened to me prior to my incarceration. Nobody ever said, what traumas did you endure? What were the things that happened to you as a child? What was the domestic violence that you endured as an adult? Nobody asked those questions because nobody cared, right? There's a system in place that when you make a bad choice, nobody cares if you're broken. Nobody cares the things that have happened to you, and nobody asks. So with that was somebody that I couldn't identify because I didn't know who I was. Right? Everybody else was defining me. And then to get out and be defined by making a mistake, and having to always have to live up to like this expectation because, they think we're less than, right? We're criminals, we're all the labels that we go through. We're horrible people, we're bad moms, we're this and that. And, I didn't really care what anybody had to say because instead of the time doing me, I allowed the time to benefit me, right? Like I found a space I finally found out who I was while I was in prison. And I decided that when I left, I was never going to ever forget the people that I left behind. So I came out with a mission already to advocate and whatever that looked like. Since I've been out for, April was 4 years. And for 3 years, I lived in a program. I was homeless in my car. I lived in sober living. I slept on my brother's couch. I was in transitional housing for a year, and things just kept going on like that. And I was trying to reunite with my daughter. When I got out, my daughter had just graduated high school and had basically became 18 and no longer had to live in the foster care system, but she was living at college and she didn't have a home to go home to during the summer and during holidays. And so I was doing my best to try to find a place. And I was never able to do that because I have a conviction. I have a felony conviction, and my convictions in the past were for drugs. And whenever you're trying to run a place, anytime you've been a drug, anything to do with drugs, they don't want anything to do with you. And the one place that I did find said, well, we'll rent to you, but you need to make 4 times the amount of the money of the rent. And how am I supposed to do that when I can't even find a sustainable job because of a past conviction, right? So people ask me, why are you still in transitional housing? Why are you doing this? Because I have a plan. And I used to drive a 1996 van, Honda Odyssey. And people say, why haven't you bought a new car? And it's like, because I have a plan, and because I couldn't find a place to live, I bought a place to live. And I had to be right okay in all those places that I was for so long because I wasn't going to accept what the system had on me. I wasn't going to accept those, right? I refused to accept it. So I had to be okay in all those places for that long so I could end up buying a house. And I'll tell you, 6 months after I bought that house, COVID hit. And everybody had to move out of school. and my daughter had a home to come home to.
Yeah.
You know, and she still lives with me today. She has decided that she's not going to go live back at school because she has a home to live at. But I told myself, I'm not going to allow this system to define who I am, and I'm not going to allow anybody to tell me that my worst decision defines the mother, the daughter, the friend, you know, the employee that I am today.
Right.
Even if I went to school, if I got out of prison and I finished probation or parole, and I went to school for 6 years and I earned my master's degree, do you think I could get a license through any of the boards in California? Absolutely not. I wouldn't have cared that I worked 6 hard years to get where I am because I have a criminal record. And, oh, you have a criminal record from 25 years ago? Oh, well, that must be who you are today. Right. And the system that we have is completely broken. Okay, actually, that's a lie. Let me rephrase that. The system that we have is not broken.
Too. Yeah.
It's not broken because it's doing exactly what it was intended to do.
That part.
What we need to do is break the system and start all over. Because if we had invested all that money into rehabilitating people and into believing in people and to growing families and reuniting families and giving them support instead of criminalizing people, just think of where Californians would be today. You know, and just think, I guarantee you we would not have as many children in the foster care system as we have.
Right.
That's just a fact.
We wouldn't have as many homeless people. We wouldn't have recidivism rates as high as they are. Like so many ways. And thank you so much for sharing, you know, that we could feel the emotion in your voice and in your tone, and just knowing you and where you've come from and where you're going. Like, you still got so far to go. What message do you really want the people to leave with today when you think about sunsets, when you think about the theme of today, which is, you know, we are more than our old records? You know, you said, I am not my old conviction. Like, what's the one thing you want folks to leave with today?
Well, I really need to say this first. Okay, because even though I'm from a marginalized community, which is being formerly incarcerated, I'm also white. And I never knew what that privilege carried. I really didn't until I started to do this work. And now I realize that marginalized communities are not only formerly incarcerated people, but they're people of color. And so I have educated myself the best that I can to be a formerly incarcerated white ally, right? Because I don't know those struggles, but yet I'm going to be the one who stands behind you guys and says, what you're doing is wrong, right? What you're doing is wrong, and we need to change this. I first wanted to acknowledge that because I think it's super important. But the one thing that I want to say, and this is a fact, I know this was one of the amendments, but where would I be today? Because I've been out for 4 years, and that's what they changed it to, right? So if they had kept this, if I was able to get my record sealed, right? Let me tell you where I'd be today. I bought a home that has an extra bedroom. If I had a sealed record, I would go and I would foster a teenage child that has parents that are in prison. The reason that I say that is because nobody can foster that child better than my daughter and myself, because we have lived experience. I would make sure that that child has communication with their parents. I would make sure that the parents have communication with their child. But I can't foster a child because I have a conviction.
Yes.
And it's sad because they have a whole bunch of people fostering children that may not be able to understand their struggles, right? So you asked me today, what do I want people to know? I want people to know that there are 5,000 barriers to Californians, and there are 48,000 barriers to people in the United States who are formerly incarcerated. Okay, this is something that has been going on for decades, for centuries. We have to stop. We have to do something different. I just want to thank the senator, because without her braveness, her boldness, right, to acknowledge that we are worth a second chance, then maybe none of us would be where we are today, right? but there's a movement going on, and the people that are in it are the ones standing up for each other, saying, you have a voice.
Yes.
You have a voice. And today I want to hear what you have to say. You know, I mean, you guys, California Coalition for Women's Prisoners, ARC. I mean, I've done so much work across the board. And you know why? Because there's a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely.
And people ask, why are you here? Unity. I'm using their space right now. They're allowing me to use it. And they're preventing youth from violence. Yeah. It's like, why do you keep doing this? You know why? Because it keeps me well. It holds me accountable to the ones I'm still trying to get home.
Yeah. Yeah. This is also healing work. You know.
Yeah, it is. It keeps me well.
It's a blessing to be a blessing. And so, yeah, I hear redemption. I hear folks realizing that we are still human. You know, I haven't come to 70 since 2006, yet I still have things that I'm being held back from, you know, and so many others. And so I got a family, I'm married, I have kids, I'm doing everything right. But like, I'm not going to get into that story, but it's, you know, it's so many barriers that we're going to fight to eliminate. And we're going to do that.
That's
you
right.
can do that. Terrance is going to do that. I'm going to do that. Everybody in the chat is going to do that. Everybody looking at this is going to do that, right? And
one more thing too. Don't be frustrated because of the amendments. Don't be frustrated because we're going to get our foot in the door, right? We're going to get our foot in the door and we're going to show people what a difference it can make. And we are coming back. We're coming back. We're coming back for what the locusts stole from us. Believe that. Okay. Right here.
Okay. Take it to the Bible then. Wendy.
Amen.
All right, Wendy. Well, hey, so much love. Truly appreciate you, Wendy, being vulnerable, sharing your story. We know it's not easy, but that's what we're here for. We got your back. You know, we are a time-done family, and just thank you. That's all I can say is thank you. And you know, I know you have a really good relationship with our very own Terrance Stewart. So you know, T Stu is gonna close us out. We have a couple minutes. We might go over a little bit, y'all. It just tends to happen, you know, sometimes of our power. But let's give Wendy a hand clap though. Let's give her some love, some shower with some praise, and you know, just for being bold enough to get up here and speak her. You know, because it's not easy. It's really not. And so thank you again, Wendy. Shout out to our brother Marcus Woods at Unity.
He was just here. He's like, I really want to say hi, but
yeah. Went into the peace ride. You know what I'm saying? They got one coming up at the end of next month, I think. And T Stu, you want to bring us home, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell Marcus I said what's up. I'm gonna pull up on him.
You're well.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like closing remarks, I just wanted to real quick highlight, you know, how it all came about. You know, I mean, like one of the things that we were talking about before, it came in the concept of a spread, you know, and like, what is a spread? Like we all been, well, let me tell the story. It was a community, right? California, let's say California. And it was a state where we had 8 million people who was living with all these barriers. And because of these barriers, we was having it hard, right? We was having a hard time getting housing, getting jobs and everything. So the little resources that we had, we hung on to, and we hung on to them with dear life, and we were not interacting with each other. In the communities that we were living in, we were not interacting, and it was no unity or no nothing, right? So some community organizers came into the town, right? And they came in there with some top ramen noodles. And they busted them up on a stone, and they put them in the bricks and said, "We all finna eat. You know what I mean? We finna blow these noodles up. We finna blow them up. You know what I mean? We all finna eat, right?" So like, we all sat at this pot, and we all for the first time, people never talked to each other for all these years. We sat there and looked at this pot, and we said, "How are we gonna eat?" And they said, "Man, these noodles finna blow up." And then one of them said, "Yeah, you know what'll make this noodles a little bit better? If we had some summer sausages." You know, and somebody else said, "You know what'll make this noodles a little bit better? If we had some refried beans." And somebody else said, so forth and so on. So we all put a little bit up in there. You know what I mean? And then we all sat there, and for the first time, we all ate together, and we talked about all the barriers that we faced, and we came up with this plan, right? And the plan was sunsets. And the sun set it. And up came a new day. So the time done is about this new day where we ain't going to have all these barriers when the clouds smoke, you know? So the question becomes, how do we put in our vegetable, our little bit of stuff, so that we can have this spread that's going to make sure that we're getting together and reach us the sunsets? It first starts off by, check this out. Everybody grab your phone. Grab your phone. I want y'all to go to your text message. Go to your text message. And in the text part, or the recipient, in the part where it says recipient, I want y'all to write 97779, right? Now go to the text part and write the word sunset. SUNSET, sunset. Then push send. Bam-o. Now we didn't put our first vegetable up in the spread. You know what I'm saying? Now the next thing we can do is we could visit the website. And the website is time done, one word, TIMEDONE, .org. And go on the website and explore. There's options so you could tell your story there. And please, man, if you haven't told your story there, we need your help. Put your story on there. We don't need no help. We need more help. We need your help. So, you know what I mean? Get on there, tell your story. It's not a story, it's your life. You know what I mean? We're still living it. You know what I mean? And we're pushing towards a happy ending. You know, also, on Mondays, no, Wednesday, from 11 to 12 p.m., we're going to have a Twitter storm. Man, if y'all in the comments, drop a clock in the comments if you participated in the Twitter storm. You know what I mean? Drop a clock in the corner if we participated in the Twitter storm. The Twitter storm went up. I know we reached over millions of people. You know what I mean? We're getting the whole time done phenomenon. What's up, champion? What's up, champion? You know what I mean? I'm on my way after this live. And then please tap in with us on June 2nd from 11. We have 2 times, and that's a Wednesday. We have 2 times. We have an AM session for the people that can make it in the AM, which would be from 11 to 12. And then we have a PM session where it would be from 6 to 7 on Zoom. I believe we'll put the links in the chat, you know, but please, we'll keep you updated. You'll get an email every week from Gilbert Johnson if you text in the time done, and it'll walk you through how to get through a lot of these things that I'm talking about. And with that said, like you said, it's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of come arounds. There's a lot of smiles and frowns. But know one thing, in the end, we win. Thank y'all.